there for you. Amber energy drink there for you. Amber there for you. Amber there for you.
Amber Energy Drink. Stimulate the energy in you.
Splash FM 105.5.
Anytime you feel cold and Qatar, take Procold. Procold now better melody. Take Procold for effective relief from cold and Qatar. Everywhere you go, take Procold.
Make no wakamis road. Procold get paracetamol and phenylephrine for effective relief from cold and catarrh within 20 minutes. Now, Orange Drugs Limited distributor. If symptoms never stop after 3 days, make you waka go see your doctor. Procold, now better medicine.
Take Procold. Take Procold. Procold. Take Procold.
From the top of the Fisher Building.
This is
Detroit's number one hit music station.
Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station.
Splash 5.5. Tune in and listen everywhere you go.
Oh, wow.
Please listen to this announcement. This is to inform SEEP Microfinance Institute members that the 2021 annual meeting will hold on Monday, 18th October at the International Conference Center, University of Ibadan by 9 a.m. Members are advised to come with their valid ID card. Announcer, Management.
We educate, that's why we are respected. We inform, that's why we are loved. More music, we are the best. The Integrity Station. Splash, splash.
105.5.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Good morning and welcome to the third edition of Business Splash for the week. In this package, we have for you stories on 2022 budget, Nigerian Communications Commission, pension, Apapa tank funds, oil and gas, as well as some stock reports. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. First, the headlines. Federal government raises PPPRA, CBN and others revenue targets by 754.31 billion naira. Nigerian Communications Commission says 5G deployment is at 97% readiness. Also in the headlines, House of Representatives panel lists Ahmed, Emefiele, others for customs scanner probe. Naira crashes to record low at official market. Those are the headlines. Now the news in detail. The federal government has reviewed upwards the independent revenue projection for ministries, departments and agencies in the 2022 fiscal period by 754.31 billion naira. The 754.31 billion naira indicates an increase of 71.09% from the approved 1.09 trillion naira in the 2021 fiscal period to 1.86 trillion naira next year. The figures are contained in the 2022 budget proposal, which was made public last week by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed. About 122 agencies are required to pay their operating surpluses into the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the federal government based on the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007. The Act requires government agencies to remit 80% of their annual operating surpluses to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. The executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mohammed Nami, has decried the inefficiencies in the current stamp duty and capital gain tax collection system. According to him, these inefficiencies have led to poor revenue generation from these taxes. NAMI disclosed this at the opening ceremony of the 2021 Tax Week of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria in Abuja. The theme of the Tax Week for this year is Efficient Tax Administration as a Panacea for Increased Revenue Generation. The FIRS boss added that the government's efforts to boost revenue are currently hindered by insecurity, high exchange rate, and the effects of COVID-19. On his part, the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, who was represented by Salah Zubair, stated that there was a need for the country to spend more on critical infrastructure. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has tasked states to think out of the box in raising their respective internally generated revenues. He made the remark at the maiden edition of Ekiti State's maiden investment forum in Ado-Ekiti. The Vice President recalled how Lagos State improved its IGR from 600 million naira monthly in 1999-2000 to about 45 billion naira today. He said the illegal seizure of the allocations to the state by the then federal government was the shock that forced the state to rethink. Speaking further, Professor Osinbajo noted that although a state within a federation is not a nation, it must behave like one to further boost its economic development.
The economy of the subnational is a peculiar animal. The state within the federation is not a nation, but it must behave like a nation. It derives some resources from the federal pool and generates some income. The sum of those will provide infrastructure and services to the community. But the size of the sum and the quantum of opportunity available to provide livelihoods for the populace will depend on how the state enables local and external investors, small and large, to put their resources into business and commercial activity in the state. The funded portion of the state's budget is, after all, a mere fraction of the sum total of economic activity or income-generating activity, formal or informal, within the state. So the attractiveness of a state to commerce is a radical issue. The very lives and livelihoods of the people within the borders of the state.
The Nigerian Communications Commission has said the plan for fifth-generation technology deployment in Nigeria is at 97% readiness. The Executive Vice Chairman of NCC, Professor Umar Dambata, said this at the annual African Tech Alliance Forum themed Embracing Changes and Digital Transformation in the New Normal. This is according to a statement issued by the NCC's Deputy Manager Public Affairs, Kunle Aziz. Dambata, who was represented by the Commission's Director, Spectrum Administration, Oluwatoyin Ashaju, said already NCC is set for the auction of some spectrum slots in the 3.5 gigahertz band. Dambata added that even though the network infrastructure in the nation demonstrated some capacity to contain the surge in internet traffic, a lot of work was being done by the Commission to boost network capacity, sensitize the public, and ensure accessibility to affordable connectivity. The House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Customs and Excise, Finance, Banking and Currency to invite Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, retired Colonel Hamid Ali, and Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, over the controversy surrounding the e-Customs project. The committee is also to invite the chairman of the CBN Technical Committee on Comprehensive Import Supervision Scheme and the managing director of Adani Mega Systems Limited in order to resolve the matter for the takeoff of the project. The panel is to report back to the House within 4 weeks. This is sequel to the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by Chairman of the House Committee on Customs and Excise, Lekki Abejide, at the plenary on Thursday. Microsoft has said it will shut down career-oriented social network LinkedIn in China, citing a challenging operating environment as Beijing tightens control over tech firms. According to Senior Vice President of Engineering Mohak Shroff, the US-based company will replace LinkedIn in China with an application dedicated to applying for jobs, but without the networking features. According to the Wall Street Journal, LinkedIn was given a deadline by Chinese internet regulators to better oversee content on the site. Now, the value of the naira fell further by 1.68% against the dollar at the official market on Thursday. At the investor and exporter foreign exchange window, the local currency opened at 413 naira 15 kobo per $1 on Thursday, but closed at 422 naira 7 kobo per $1. The naira had depreciated by 0.19% to 415 naira 10 kobo to $1 on Wednesday, after closing at 414 naira 30 kobo per $1 on Tuesday. At the parallel market, the dollar was bought at 565 naira and sold for 570 naira, according to some operators in the black market. The Central Bank of Nigeria, however, maintained 410 naira 91 kobo per dollar as its official rate on its website. Well, that's all we have for you today on Business Splash. Thank you very much for listening. Join us next week for another interesting edition. Good morning. Thank you for listening. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa.
We educate. That's why we are respected. We inform. That's why we are loved. More music. We are the best. The Integrity Station. Splash, splash, splash.
105.5.